Are you free and able to talk about the experiences that you have in meditation? Or like, what does meditation mean to you? Let me put it that way. Because a lot of people say meditation, but with the way that you're coming from it, you're not just coming from a concept of it. I can feel as you speak, there's a lot of experience and wisdom when you say these words.
Well, the words, yes. The problem is with the words, because the true meditation is beyond words. Because we're trying to basically hug, be embraced by that which is beyond the words. So the whole thing doesn't make sense. And when I hear people talking about meditation, it's actually meditation. They all go mad and still call it, but we don't have another word. So it's basically trying to be yourself, to be with yourself. And in our tradition, actually we don't talk much about experiences because it's not a mystical tradition. It's very dry, pure intellectual thing to which you add the heart. So what you know, you feel. And as you feel, you project. And that's where the magic of the scriptures is. Scriptures are not just like this. I remember when I first seen a scripture, I didn't know. I started reading it like a book. And you can't. Because once you start tuning in, you read what's between the words, what's beyond and behind the words. So it's not the word meaning that's important. And so when I see the meditation is basically the state of being in the awareness and knowing that I am that awareness, I am that pure consciousness. So it's not the session that I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, sit down for half an hour and get a backache. It is the state of being, knowing that pure consciousness I am. And from there, I operate in the world. I talk to you, I eat, I drink, I sleep with the awareness that I am. The Bible will call it I am that I am. The Hindu scriptures will say I am Satchit Ananda, I am existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. But it all amounts to the personal, individual experience. As our Gurudev used to say, once you really get it, it's not that you see anything new. You see the world anew. You see it from a different perspective. You discover a different dimension of the world. And then you love it. So basically what it is, when we say reaching the self, gaining the self, gaining the divinity, it's actually being happy. Discovering the state of beatitude, which is our true nature, which is the birthday gift from the Creator. Whether you call it God, whether you call it divine presence, I like to call it cosmic intelligence.
I like that.
See, then you see the words actually don't mean much.
So, in that state though, I mean, like I know for me there are times where I've experienced that state, and then there are certain things I can focus on to bring me back to that state if I find myself out of it. So what are the tools that have helped you as you've been on this journey with yourself? What happens when you recognize that you may not be in that awareness, and how do you get yourself back into it?
Well, the first thing is, and I'm glad you pointed it out, Victoria, to realize, discover that I'm not in it. So the simple thing, you go back into it. Now the question is how. And, there are different types of yogas. And yoga, as I mentioned it to somebody, or there was a different gathering, last night, yoga does not mean twisting your body and holding onto your nose. Yoga means to realign, to connect with the divine. So everybody, this is the beauty of Hinduism, which I appreciate, that according to our different psychological makeup, the people who are more into intellect, for them they would be the yoga of knowledge. For people who are more into their mind, emotions, they would be something which is called yoga of devotion. And you might find the devotion when you look at a tree, when you look at a bird, when you look at any expression or manifestation of God. There might be a person who inspires you, who holds that aspect of divine special presence. It doesn't matter what it is, because we all are different, and then we also have different cultures to account for. But so this would be the second one. One would be the inquiry and knowledge. The other one is devotion. And the third one is for people, most of the people who are a little bit here and a little bit there. They are active people. They are people who would like to serve the humanity, people who want to offer their service. So there is a room for everybody. And now the question is, when we say it, people would come and say, oh, but which one is for me? How do I know? And this is very simple answer. That which feels good, that which makes you happy, this is your path. And it changes. It changes. Like I started basically with the knowledge. Now I'm discovering and working on my devotion. But once you get the knowledge, devotion comes. When you really grow in devotion, the knowledge enters also. Because the whole process is we need to integrate our heart with the head. Only when the two are breathing in the same rhythm, then we can say that we are happy. Otherwise, one is pulling there and I'm
I like that. You just gave me a new definition of happiness, or a new twist on recognition.
See, and even Loka Paul was talking about it last week. He was saying that we need to integrate. He didn't use the word integrate, but connect the emotions and the understanding. So that's and then the rest takes care of itself, speaks for itself. And the other thing which is very important, but how do we do it? Like I would do it through studies and some of the devotional practices like chanting, some rituals. But what's also very important, and I think that you fully understand, in Sanskrit, in Hindu tradition, there is term used satsang. Satsang means being connected with the truth of your being. So in English, we talk about support groups. You know, being with people, like-minded people, who also going in the same direction. So then we get the support, we get guidance. And that's very, very important. And the guidance, the true guidance, comes from above, but through the different channels.
It's as you're speaking, I keep getting more and more about what you're saying between your words. And so I want to ask you on a simple level, when you wake up in the morning, what makes your heart smile?
I don't know. My guru gave once an explanation that if you wake up and you are really, really happy, it means that some of your good karmas have just fructify. But the idea is, but then the problem is the next day you don't even want to open the curtains. But just knowing that there is this beautiful universe that's none other than expression of the divine. And I am also an expression of the divine. So I embrace the universe, and I feel always like sitting on a lap of the divine seat of the universe.
So you're not, as I've heard you speak and I've seen you work with people in a different way, you're not the usual idea of what a Swamini is, huh?
Well, no, not really. But we are living in the 21st century. So what we need to do, we need to meet the needs and requirements of people. I should be sitting in an ashram and be dressed in a traditional uniform, which I have with me also, but I would put it depending on the situation. It will be a little bit odd here. Or people will say, sometimes I go out in the morning and they say, oh, you're going to a party? It's only 10 o'clock in the morning. I said, yes. But Indian saris are very beautiful, so we catch an eye. But if we are to serve the universe, we need to come out and see its needs. And that's what our guru told us to do. Even the way he expounded the scripture said, I'm telling you this, but when you go, you have to find your own way. So you can meet people. Otherwise, they are ashrams, they are monasteries. When they are self-realized masters, they have no ability and no need actually to communicate with the world. They are communicating with God, and that's it. But we are put on the streets to serve the street people, because that's what the real people are.
Thank you for doing that.
Well,
I really appreciate it.
It's lovely to be with you.
You too.
Thank you. You took me by surprise, but any surprise with you is lovely.
I love that.
Isn't it? Yeah. I got a second.
So I want to, if anybody sees this and wants to connect with your ashram, it's in Toronto, right?
Well, we have actually international organization with about close to 300 centers. So there is a website I can give you, and you can put it,
I'll put it out here.
on there, because there is about 30 or 50 centers in US.
Wow.
And quite a few in Canada. They are centers in Europe, in Australia, Middle East, everywhere.
That's beautiful.
Because there is need for people to really get in touch with themselves. There is need there everywhere.
So what's the name of the website? And then I can write it into
It's chinmaya.org. Because the name of the organization I am serving is Chinmaya Mission. So it's Chinmaya. When I first heard it, I said, Chin what? Now it feels different. It's Chinmaya Mission. And you can go on the website.
I want to honor his presence as well for being here and for inspiring you.
Well, if you go on the website, there's a number of pictures, so you need
Yeah, I will.
and you'll get his blessings too.
Thank you, Swamini.
Aha! Okay, thanks.
Bye.